Pat Huntoon here from Technique Junkies. Today we're going to be making a quick background using Nuvo Embellishment Mousse and a stencil. Let's get started.
Foremost, I'm going to cover my work surface with a white sheet of paper so that there is some contrast between the black we're using and the actual stencil. Otherwise I won't be able to see where the stencil begins and ends. And I'm using Medallion Fade. This is a stencil from A Colorful Life Designs. The majority of the stencils I use are from there. And I'm just using plain black paper. Actually, it's pretty cheap black paper. I found that you don't have to use your top of the line stuff on here. And I'm going to use a palette knife, 99-cent palette knife, and I'm going to use copper and the Indian Gold Embellishment Mousse. And if you could see this stencil, do you see how it's thicker here than it is on the sides? This is called a Medallion Fade. And what that does is it gives you a multi-textural effect. And you can really see it here. It's thicker here, finer around the outer edges, and it's quite pretty. All right, so that one I showed you just a second ago, I used only one color. This time I'm going to use two, and it's quite a thick product. It's not a mousse in the traditional sense of like a mousse you would eat, like a chocolate mousse. It's not creamy and rich like that. Well, it's a little bit firmer than you would expect. So when you're putting it on, if you notice, you can see the top of my stencil. You're still going to get tons of dimension. As long as you do that and you can see the top of the stencil, you're using an appropriate amount of product. If you go much thicker than that, basically all you do is you set yourself up to have to clean your stencils off harder. It's harder to clean your stencils. So just make sure you can see the top of your stencil.
I'm just going to speed this up a little bit so you don't have to watch me in real time. I'm adding fresh copper to the center, and then I'm going to be placing the Indian Gold at the top and the bottom. You notice that I did not clean my palette knife in between the colors. That's because I'm blending these colors a little bit, and I'm going to actually push it around a little bit with the stencil to blend the colors even more.
And then just lift this straight up, and even with my cheap paper, you can see how gloriously pretty that is. It's deeper and richer in color in the center and lighter on the outsides. So it's richer and deeper here and lighter on the outsides, which really highlights that texture fade quality of the stencil itself.
And the only thing left to do with this now is to dry this. And you can let this air dry. It dries in 3 to 5 minutes, or use a heat tool. It dries in about 1 minute. Thank you for stopping by today. I hope you've enjoyed this video. Give us a thumbs up if you did, and subscribe to our channel.